The people at church, I took one of their friends' seat, and then they said that they were gonna hurt me. I felt sad.
My friend Jada, she has like blotches of like brown and white, and people are like, you look like a cow with different kinds of, it was just very sad. It just like really hurts her.
Well, I came to Tampa, running away from Miami from an abusive situation, domestic violence at home. My mom working, she didn't speak English. My brother didn't speak English. I really had to take the lead and try to help them with the little that I knew. We went through really hard times.
At the age of 16, a family friend violated me. That's the best way I can say it, because I've learned to use the terms of survivorship and understand that I'm not a victim. However, that's a part of my story. That's the part of who I am right now. Family, as supportive as they were, I truly didn't have anyone that I felt like I can explain and talk about everything that was going on with me.
I grew up in a small town where it was almost all white people. Everybody knew each other. Most of the people were related. In my class, I went to school with the same 30 kids for 8 years. My family split up. My mom and dad, they got divorced. The house we were in all our life, we were no longer in. And it began this period of my life that led up to Anytown of constantly, everything was in disarray. So all of a sudden, about my senior year and going into my freshman year of college, all my friends, we all started using drugs. We all started drinking. All of a sudden, all my friends were carrying around knives and brass knuckles, and I got put on probation.
Myself being gay, I knew that my mom didn't really accept me, but she tolerated me. And there were times when she would just be like, well, at least I'm not a lesbian. It's hard to deal with like knowing that your parent doesn't really accept you for who you are, but still having to be surrounded by that. And I didn't really know how to cope with it. While I was living with my mom, there was a lot of tension between us. I had no idea what was going on with her. I had no idea what a stroke was and how it affected a person at all. So I kind of like lashed out, and I had a lot of arguments with her, and I would come home and it would just be fighting every day, and I was really just frustrated. Things were just getting more and more difficult because I wasn't happy with where I was living. We didn't really have much. Some days we wouldn't even have enough money to get toilet paper, and it was a lot of pent up aggression towards her. Well, my first impression whenever I got off of the bus was that, holy crap, why are there like 12 people banging on the side of the bus? And it was really crazy. It was raining, and we got off, and I immediately felt this sense of like energy, and I knew it was really, it was totally different from what I was used to. And being there, I knew that I wanted to be a volunteer afterwards. I knew that I wanted to be a part of this organization because I have never felt so empowered in my life. And Anytown really gave me that boost that I needed.
It really focused my energy into what I could do. I am really happy because I've been able to, in school, stand up against exclusive language, against oppression, against other students who don't have the advantages others have. Community Tampa Bay, Anytown, all these local organizations have taught me that I'm not alone, and it has given me the courage to stand up against the president if I have to. But really the real incentive is people's faces when you stand up for them, and when they feel alone and all of a sudden you say, no, you're not alone. And when they look at you, that moment, that's the real incentive.
I looked at AmeriCorps. That's the best way I saw to serve my country with the knowledge and passion I had. And so I applied to Community Tampa Bay on a Wednesday. That Friday, they called me and said, hey, let's do an interview. They interviewed me, And they said, if you want this job, you have to have all your paperwork in by Monday. And so I was like, let's do this. So I drove down to Florida with anything that would fit in my car. I got down here, and 5 days later, I went to Anytown. When I got there, already at staff day, it was like, wow, where am I? This feeling of like inclusion and love and acceptance. That would be like a theme for what Anytown does, is it shatters these barriers that you either realize or don't realize you have, and let the love come just a little bit more through. I love Anytown. I'm a big fan of it.
But for the first time, I was able to be challenged on what was it that I thought about myself. That was one of the most powerful lessons on that first date that I would ever have. The chance to look in the mirror and say that I'm a black woman and I love being who I am. And that despite some of the stereotypes that I've assumed and that other people have assumed, it does not change me, it does not make me any less than. In fact, it makes me even greater in myself. I smiled more, and it's just an outward expression of my inner joy. I was able to talk about some issues that have always been hidden and locked away. That's what Anytown did for me. It was life-changing. It was life-changing. My daughter, she is now 14 years old, and she is going to attend Anytown this year. And when she asked me, she said, "Mommy, why do you want me to do this?" I said, because it will catapult you to the next phase of your life's journey. And she said, "Okay, Mommy, I want to do it." I said, "Okay, this is our next step."
I think just because people had to be mean to them doesn't mean you have to be mean to other people.
I treat people nicely and how I would want to be treated.
I would treat people like the same way like I treat my friends. Like if somebody treat their friend like, oh, nice and kind, but if they treat like somebody else, like if they treat them like really rudely, I just treat them the same.